Today I'll be showing you an unboxing and assembly video on how to put together your scooterx dirt dog. When you get the box, there will be a small box in the center. This will have your front tire, your gas tank, your toolkit, and also your pegs. Set that aside. Also inside of the box is your assembled dirt dog. Besides, you'll have to put your front wheel on. Now, you hold the box with a foot and you grab the back fender and the front forks. Move the box out of the way. Now you'll get your forks. You'll want to remove the bags off the forks, and you'll want to remove the wrap. Front fork set. Spin your axle around. Now, we'll take this bar and slide it on. Lift it up, make sure it's completely straight, and it'll slide completely down. This dowel pin can fall out of the shaft and your neck piece will fall. Make sure to find the side that has the slit in it and put it on the same side that you have your tightening bolt. And you just put the dowel pin back in. Inside of your box, you'll have your toolkit. You'll have your manual, your front tire, a gas tank, and 2 rear pegs. Inside your toolkit, you'll have zip ties, your front axle, your front fork tightener, 2 nuts and bolts for your gas tank, a screwdriver and 2 sockets, 3 Allen wrenches, and 4 different sizes of wrenches. Removing this, now you will take your front forks, put them on, and open up. Now put it up to whatever your desired height is, and tighten all 4 bolts down. The only thing different with your X-Racer compared to your dirt dog is your handlebar assembly. And you will have 2 screws, and you put them through your top plate, through your handlebar, and then through the bottom. And you'll take your 2 locking nuts, just tighten them down. Now we'll use the longest Allen wrench to adjust your front handles. Make sure these are very tight You don't want these coming loose during riding. Now that your handles are in the desired place, let's talk more about your front wheel. Make sure your spacers are in the correct places on both sides, and it'll drop right in. Now your safety washer, make sure it faces in, putting it inside of that hole. And your nut, and your nut, and your nut will go right on. And repeat the same process on the other side. Now make sure that these nuts are tight and equal on each side. Now that you're done with that, we can talk more about the neck. Now right here on the front of the dirt dog, there's this bolt, and you got to make sure it's in the slot so that way when your handlebars turn, the front wheel turns with it. Make sure it's real snug. Use your Allen wrench and tighten that down. Now once you're done with that, you'll want to take your neck tool and loosen the nut. Make sure you leave the rubber and metal spacer on the bolt. Slide the bolt through, make sure it goes through the other side. Take your nut, tighten it down. Now you'll want to make sure this is really tight, and all you do is this lever is out while you tighten down and push down, and then you're done. Now we're done with the neck assembly. Let's talk about the brakes. Right here on the front brake caliper and the rear caliper, they're the same. During shipping, sometimes the cable can get stuck. You want to make sure that that doesn't happen. Now you see here how this cable is not directly in this hole? You want to make sure to push it in there and make sure it locks in place. Make sure you've done that on the front and back caliper. Now, let's talk about brake adjustments. Back out this screw and you tighten the nut. Push them in opposite directions and it'll get tight. Now, it's much tighter and you won't go anywhere. If that doesn't do enough, down here at the brake caliper, where the wire goes through this screw, you loosen the screw, pull the wire down a little bit, and tighten it. Adjustment for the brake pads to bring them closer in, if you have all the slack and it still doesn't slow you down good enough, is you take a 8mm socket and loosen this nut right here. Take an Allen wrench and tighten it down a little bit, just enough so touch it and then back it off just a little bit and tighten it down again. And that should fix your brakes. Now once we're done with our brakes, let's put our gas tank on. Take your gas tank and the shield and push the shield on top of the gas tank and grab your 2 screws and your Allen wrench. Now that you have your screws and nuts, take the nuts off the screws. Make sure that the plastic from the gas tank goes on top of this tab. Drop your screws in place. It's easier to put the screws on the gas tank before you install. Now install it on the dirt dog. You might want to push down on the screws and make sure they go all the way through when you tighten them. These nuts are special. These are locking nuts. Make sure the rounded side faces down. Make sure you do both screws. Now that you have your gas tank, when assembling your gas lines, do not route them through the bottom. The chain is there and it could get caught and start a fire. Instead, route them next to the gas tank, through the front, and into the 2 inlet and outlet ports. The white or clear goes on the smallest inlet, and the yellow goes on the biggest inlet. Remember, putting these pegs on righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. That's how you assemble scooterx Dirt Dog.